Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, so last time it was a slightly technical class which gave all the details about creation, right? So don't worry, you don't have to mug up all these things. I'm not going to take an exam on, where did your sense of, the smell come from and all that is not. What we are trying to see is what exactly you saw from that class. What is conceptually what you understood. And I think in the end, the way you summarized it was excellent. Can you repeat?
The way we were going about it, then finally in the end we said that it's based on the 5 elements, right? Then you are part of the universe and the universe is you. That's what we sort of said, right? You are part of the whole and the whole is also you. Yeah. So I think that's where we left off from all the different parts of the intelligence and Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, all the different parts of all of that, and then the differential between and how awareness plays the part in navigating our way through life.
Anybody else has any
So
idea to
I
add?
think
Yeah.
I think what I wrote at the end was, so who are you? You are none of the 5 elements. For example, you are not water or the other 5 elements. So the entire universe is a combination of 5 elements. So do you not exist? And so who are you? Everything else is a combination of 5 elements. So what is left is I. Okay? What is the relationship of awareness and 5 elements? Awareness is not an object. Everything that is an object is made up of 5 elements. But that's what you said. So I was reading verbatim.
Oh, you've written verbatim, but this is very nice, Nandita. Did everybody understand what she's saying?
Now,
No?
yes.
Now you understand?
Can you read it again?
Everything.
Sorry.
Okay. Now, Saloni, let's try
Okay.
because it's very
Yeah.
nice for me to see what exactly you're getting from what I'm talking, So it's very important. Yeah, Saloni.
Everything is the 5 elements, but I is awareness. The 5 elements need awareness for you to know the 5 elements. However, awareness does not need the 5 elements to exist. The only non-objectified, self-evident thing available to us is awareness.
Amazing.
See what I mean? I
It's
think that I
amazing.
look at my notes and her notes, and all of us are writing differently, the same thing.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of
Yeah.
the class.
Very nice, right? So, all these detailed discussion that we had about what, which element creates which part of your body and all, what is the point? As all 3 of them summarized, that what I think I am, which is what this physical body, this subtle body, and the causal body, it is what, now what do I understand through Tattva Bodha?
But it's all the same. And it's the
It
5
is
elements
made
that
up
we
of
all
5
are.
elements, right? And your body is also made up of the same 5 elements. And your body is made up of the same 5 elements. Okay? So that means all that is here in the universe, which is what we call the object universe, is nothing but 5 elements in different permutation and combination. Okay? So therefore, now that, so that is what we call the object universe. Now, in this object, now that includes what? My body, it includes my thinking capacity, because these 5 elements we saw, when 5 subtle elements come together, they create what? Antakarana. We saw that. Right? When 5, the Rajasic aspect of the 5 elements come together, it becomes what? Prana. Prana is what? That the whole life force. So therefore, the entire thing that I see, starting from the sun to the stars, to the moon, to galaxies, to planets, to everything, human bodies, animal bodies, bird bodies, reptiles, the mountains, the rivers, the rocks, everything is nothing but what? Combination of 5 elements. Now, if you look at, see what Vedanta says, and 5 elements are what this water and this fire, it's all just atoms. If you look at the quantum physics model, it is identical. Okay? What it says is the entire universe that you see is nothing but different permutations and combination of what? Atoms and particles. Okay. So that is because even this air is particle, right? And then the water is also hydrogen atom and oxygen atom. So therefore you can go further, but ultimately it is the same. Whether you take 5 elements or you take the modern physics, it comes to the fact that the whole universe is either you can say 5 elements or you can say atoms and particles. Okay. Now the next question, so that means this body that you think is I is what?
Combination of 5 elements.
Exactly. Right? Now you have to find out where is I in there. Okay. So therefore the 5 elements, this is where both Nandita and Roshni made a point that I thought I am as good as this body and mind. Okay. Now I understand this body and mind is made up of what? 5 elements. So are you 5 elements? No. Right? Because you know I am not fire. Everybody knows. You know I am not space. You know I am not water. You know I am not earth. Okay? So when the body comes, which is made up of these 5 elements, how does it become I? Okay? So that means there is a basic fundamental error that we all make about who we are. Right? That is the point that it is trying to convey. Okay? So, who are you? Which was said in Tattva Bodha. Who are you? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Okay? That, as Soloni very nicely said, what is, who are you? If 5 elements are the body, 5 elements are the mind, 5 elements is your life force, 5 elements is all the, what your sense organ and the capacity. 5 elements is your organs of action, your physical body. The entire thing is 5 element. Who are you? What is left in the universe?
Awareness.
The only thing which is left in the universe is awareness.
That's intact.
Exactly. While the 5 elements and their permutations and combinations are producing constantly changing universe, which is always on a flux. That is, by the time I finish the word universe, the configuration of universe has changed. Right? So therefore, that universe is in a flux. Nobody can make it static. And nobody can make it run according to one's whims and fancies. Please understand that. Because until you understand that, you will be in the illusion of this wanting to control the universe according to your desires. You are in a losing game altogether. Because you are fighting realities. The 5 element universe is in a constant flux. It is changing. Okay? And you are, and that includes not only everybody's body, my body too. It not only includes everybody's mind, my mind too. It not only includes everybody's life force, my life force too. Okay? And that is something that there are laws which govern how the physical body comes together. What is the range of each sense organ that is given to you? What is the makeup of your mind that is available to you? You are born with a mind. which has a certain inclination. Then you use your free will to develop it further. Okay? So that means these 5 elements are not just randomly put together to create you and me. They are extremely intelligently put together to create a very intelligent creation where not only one piece in the creation, your body, itself exhibits so much knowledge. The eyes, the way they are designed, the nose, the ears, your digestive system, your circulatory system, your respiratory system. The whole thing is just incredible piece of art. But not only that, there is another incredible piece of art which is you, and not only that, we two are connected through laws. So there is this amazing, it's not just 5 random elements we are just moving around. Okay? So this is where all this intelligent creation that you see is nothing but 5 elements. Your relationship with this intelligent body is what? You're not the 5 elements. There is something else that is remaining, and that is what? The awareness. The awareness, where is awareness available to you? When I use the word awareness, it creates meaning for you, right? Have you seen an object called awareness? No.
Is that your soul?
So awareness, exactly, because soul is an idea that I have. Okay. So what we talk about, we don't. In fact, in Vedanta, we don't talk about soul.
Okay.
Yeah. We talk about there is. I will talk. It'll come.
Okay.
Right. So what you need to understand is that these 5 elements create the whole universe, which includes all the objects. One thing which remains, which is not these 5 elements, is awareness. When you, yes, that awareness, where is it available to you? How do you understand the word awareness? You've never seen an object, because every object is combination of 5 elements.
So ability to perceive is an awareness.
Exactly. Right?
Self-awareness.
Exactly. So, very good. Okay? What she is saying is exactly what the Upanishads are saying. Atma, awareness, Chit Swarupa is Swataha Siddha. Swataha Siddha means self-evident. That is the only thing in the universe which is available to you not as an object but as the subject. Because of which you are able to see all these different permutations and combination of 5 elements, right? Which includes your body, which includes the other bodies, which includes mountains, rivers, everything. Okay? That awareness, which is self-evident to you, somehow, what is the nature of mistake that you are making?
You think it is you.
You think, sorry?
You think it is you.
You think that awareness, first of all, you're not even very sure that there is this awareness, but you take it as confined to this
To you.
body, right? So that means the attribute of awareness, the attribute of the 5 elements which constitutes physical body, you impute onto what?
Onto the awareness.
Onto the awareness. Exactly. So you do 2 mistakes. One is the attribute of physical body or attributes of these 5 elements which constitute your physical and subtle body. You impute it on awareness. And therefore, and the second mistake you make is this awareness, you take it as what? Restricted or confined to this body.
Can you repeat that first part?
Yeah, the
first
first
part
part
is
is
understand.
The
that I
first
wouldn't
is,
be aware if I was not.
yeah, exactly.
body.
Absolutely. You
The
would
body is
not be
available.
aware, but it is true. You would not be aware unless you were in this body, but in this faculty, because of that relationship, you make a mistake. Now you use Vedanta to undo the mistake, because unless you had that special relationship, you would not make a mistake. Okay, so that means this awareness is given to you through this body and mind, just like this space is given to this glass through this confinement. But what is the reality?
The space is everything.
The space does not have any boundaries. This is not breaking, but because of the presence of the glass, there is everybody thinks that there is glass space. So that means awareness, if it was not given to you, confined to one given in body and mind, you would not make the mistake.
So you're saying the first mistake is that we attribute the qualities of the physical body to I.
Exactly, to awareness.
We
So
need
that
to
means,
separate it.
what does it mean? It
You said I
means,
got, yeah, sorry.
what it means is, when I make a statement about myself, I'm fat. What is the statement?
My physical body.
Exactly. Right? The physical, what is the reality? My physical
I'm
body.
aware that.
Exactly. The reality is, please understand, this is very important. The reality is that physical body, which is made up of 5 elements, is fat. True. It's reality.
Yeah, it's fat.
It's fat.
Fact.
Right? There we are not arguing.
Yeah.
Right? But as she says, what is your relationship with this physical body? Are you the physical body, or are you awareness because of which the changing conditions of physical body are known to you? You are the awareness. Does awareness get fat?
No.
No. So that means the attributes of physical body, which are attributes of physical body, we are not denying that they are attributes of physical body, get imputed onto what?
Awareness.
Awareness. This is a mistake that we make.
So, are you using just now that awareness term as input onto the self? That we define ourselves
exactly.
through the...
So because awareness is I,
Right.
because of which you come to know everything, including this body. Okay? But as she says, I don't have exactly the same relationship with all other bodies as I have with this body. Just like among all the different houses, I have a special relationship with one house. True. But therefore, because I have a special relationship with one house, do I become the house?
So we objectified awareness, which is the first mistake. Is that right?
No.
We made it an object. Is that
We-
what you're saying?
What we objectify, the argument is a little bit different.
Okay.
You never can objectify awareness, by the way. Okay? What I objectify, which is the physical body, which is made up of 5 elements, the attributes of the physical body, I impute on where do I place them?
On what?
I.
On
What is
I.
my real
What is that
nature?
I?
Actually,
Awareness.
awareness.
So awareness is independent and exists, exists independently, and your body is a dependent reality. The
Excellent.
body houses it.
Absolutely.
So the error
Awareness
is not
exists
the I
independently.
doing that? Isn't the error that we are trying to say that we are awareness, which is our physical body?
No. Try to see what we are saying. Two types of error. Look, listen to me carefully. The whole reality is jumbled up in our understanding. Okay, what is the jumble? The jumble is that the physical body, does it have attributes of fair, tall,
Yes.
fat? It has.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying, when I say you're free from that, doesn't mean that the body doesn't have those attributes. Please understand. The body has, it's true. The body is tall, the body is short, the body is fat, the body is slim, the body is dark, fair. All this is true. Okay. But the and what is body made up of?
5
Five
elements.
elements.
Right? And who are you? You are the awareness. Now, when I make the statement, I am fat because the body is fat, what am I doing?
You're confusing the awareness with the object of the body.
Exactly.
Again, you're imputing
So
the
that
attributes of
means-
that onto.
Exactly. You are, exactly, now you understood, right? the attributes of body get loaded where? Onto the awareness.
That's the first mistake.
That
So
is the first
you're
mistake.
attaching yourself on something which is not. Awareness is really what is you.
Exactly. Right? What is the second mistake that you are making? That this awareness, even if I make you see that okay, this body is not you, right? And this mind is something also that you objectify. Mind is constantly changing. You are the nature of observer. Okay? Then what do you think that where do you localize the awareness? You understand that I am not the physical body, I am not the mind, but still where do you put your awareness?
On this one, on the
Exactly.
physical body.
That is the second mistake you make.
So we put the awareness onto the mind.
You put the awareness physically localized into the body.
Because awareness exists independent.
Yes.
The body.
How do we?
Yes. Because that is something.
body goes.
Yes.
The awareness
This
stays.
awareness stays
Stays.
where?
Yeah. It is something that's why the whole teaching was given the relationship of awareness with time, with space, with every object. What is that relationship? The whole teaching, one has to expose oneself because otherwise I can't, I have to.
Can you explain the second mistake again?
The second mistake is, okay, now first thing is you have imputed the attributes of body onto the awareness,
Yeah.
which actually is free.
Yeah.
Secondly, if I make you say, Nandita, this body is not I, right? This is nothing but 5 elements. This mind is nothing, it's not I, it's nothing but those 5 elements, subtle elements which are arranged together. Okay? Then you say, okay, now I, the awareness, is independent of the body and mind, but you still think that it is confined to where? Exactly.
So I want to ask a question. Say that I say that I am fat because my body is fat.
Yes.
And then you say to me, or the Vedanta teaches me that I am different, that it is true that the attributes of my body are fat or whatever, that I is above and beyond that. How does that help me manage my condition?
Okay, excellent. This is a very good question, right? Generally, what I said is the reality, right? When I'm showing you the reality about nature of mistake, right? And which is something which is undeniable. Because when something is changing and there is one observer because of which the changing condition is known, logically nobody can deny it, right?
Yeah.
So now, her next question is, how do I use this reality? Okay, because generally we add meaning to it. Okay, we add the meaning because it is not I should be indifferent to it. But I never said that.
No, I'm
So,
not saying indifference.
that
I'm saying
means-
how does it
Yeah.
help?
So
See, it's a
now, one
cancerous
second,
body.
One second, right? So now, what one has to first see the relationship, right? So that means once I understand, for example, this is not my house, but I do have a special relationship with this house, what would be my attitude? Will I be indifferent to the house?
Take
No.
care of it.
You have to take care of it, right? Because you have a special relation. Nobody is denying that. But if you start imputing the attribute of the house onto you, there is a problem, there is a cognitive problem.
So the house
We
should
are
be
not
situated in
saying you can use it, then it becomes an embellishment because I can enjoy the house. Once I know that I am not the house, but I have a special relationship with the house, you will do everything to make it clean, beautiful, right, as nice as possible. That is something which is intelligent living. It's not that because you are not that, you become indifferent to it. That is the meaning that we add to Vedanta, which does not exist in Vedanta. Okay? Like a car. You are not the car, but you have a special relationship with one car. But does it mean that you will care, you will just bang it all across because it's not you? You won't. You will take care of it. You'll clean it, you'll keep it nice. That is exactly. The body and mind becomes your privilege. It becomes your endowment, an amazing endowment if you understand your relationship with it. If you make a mistake, then all the limitation of body and mind gets imputed on what? Your
Awareness.
sense of awareness, and you suffer from these limitations which actually don't belong to I. Look at the magnitude of mistake that you make. With that mistake which remains intact, there is no way, right? Because something which is highly limited, which is the body and mind, you think it to be the characteristic of I. And your I gets loaded with all the limitation of the body and mind. Then you cannot stand that limitation, and then what? You're constantly trying to manipulate the world according to your needs. It's not possible. The reality is completely the opposite. The reality is you are free from limitations of body and mind, but one given body is given to you where this awareness, just as for this glass, this space, right, is as though confined to this glass, even though it is free. This awareness as though is available to you through this body and mind, and because it is available to you through this body and mind, what is the mistake we make? We mistake that awareness as the body.
Can I ask you a question? This
Yes.
book that we're studying, Tattva Bodha,
Yeah.
if it's dealing with all this, is it like an explanation of the Vedanta, or
Yeah, it is the explanation of Vedanta.
so I think if this is independent, then what is Vedanta?
Yeah.
So this is explanation of
This is-
the Upanishads.
Of the Upanishads, in their own words. In fact, that's a good question. This text, Tattva Bodha, is actually a text of definitions. These definitions are of words which are used in Vedanta. Okay? And while explaining the meaning of those words, it actually also tells you what the vision of Vedanta is. So
So if you
therefore,
study the Upanishads, it's pretty much this.
it is pretty much this, but said in a different way.
This is
And
Shankaracharya.
This is
Yeah,
the
that's-
interpretation
Yeah,
by
Adi
Shankaracharya.
Shankaracharya study and written this to explain it. Right?
See, it is not, we don't call it an interpretation. It is, Adi Shankaracharya has written commentaries on Upanishads. Right? He has written commentaries on 10 Upanishads, and he's written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. In addition to that, he has also written, because all the Upanishads are all in Sanskrit, right? So he's written commentaries in Sanskrit. This book is attributed to Adi Shankaracharya, but in this book, it's his own creation. Based on what he has understood to be Vedanta, he has created a book of definitions. What is Sukshma Sharira? What is Karana Sharira? What is Maya? What is, what is the preparation which is this? What is Avarana Shakti? Right?
So you are explaining to us
Yes.
Adi Shankaracharya's interpretation.
Not interpretation.
His
Commentary.
explanation. Sorry, his
Commentaries.
explanation.
Yeah, his explanation of what is the
the
vision of
Upanishads.
Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. And by the way, Adi Shankaracharya is one of the greatest scholars that India has produced. I mean, he's really an authority.
So if you
So,
say, listen to another person who's teaching
Yes.
Vedanta.
yes.
Like Parthasati or
Yeah,
something.
like one of those people who are quite famous now. Are they explaining their commentary on the Upanishads, or are they explaining something similar to this?
See, there are so many teachers,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I can't comment
So,
on
but
which
typically
teacher
is
is
it
doing
Adi
it.
Shankaracharya is the founder of Advaita Vedanta, which is what we're doing. There are other schools of Advaita Vedanta, which is not what we're dealing with. So Advaita Vedanta stems
It's
from
one.
Adi Shankaracharya.
So
and
actually-
different experts.
Okay.
What is the
So
difference?
there are different versions
bigger-
of this,
See, that-
we can do it.
or different interpretations.
When you study
It's
Indian,
when you read a book and everyone comes away with different things.
Yeah.
so this is why
He's a father
the
of it.
strength of, did I ever say that because Adi Shankaracharya says that, therefore it is right?
No.
No, not once, right? I'm showing you realities.
Yeah.
We are not concerned about who said, and we are not making that person God or anything.
Yeah.
If what that person has
Logic.
understood is reality, it stands uncontradicted now. So the whole approach of a Vedanta teacher is not to make human beings into gods or gods into some great beings or anything. It's all about reality, re-understanding the reality. That is the focus. If anybody who's a proper teacher of Vedanta, the focus is the reality, making you see what is. And if what I show you is really what is, it is not contradictable by logic. The strength of it comes from what? Reanalyzing exactly the whole methodology, which shows you, hey, look at this, show me where is the logical flaw. It has got nothing to do with whether Adi Shankaracharya says or X says or Y says or Z says. It doesn't have any repercussions. Your commitment.
Relevant is if you even explain Shruti and Smriti, because
Yes.
the Vedantas
Yes.
are Shruti,
True.
they're the revealed word. Nobody's written them, supposedly. So it just come down to us. And then there's the other texts which are Smriti, which have been attributed to authors. So this is a revealed word. Nobody has written it. It's come down.
The Bhagavad Gita would go into the
Smriti.
Smriti part.
Smriti.
So,
Call it-
I
we call it Shruti.
mean, I don't know if this is the right time, but at some point, like even going into your website, you say that what she said, Advaita, and it says that it's a
Duality. Advaita is non-dual.
non-dualistic. So, what do you mean by that? I mean, this may not be the right time, maybe the next class or something.
Non-dual means what we are saying here is, all that is here is what? One truth.
About the
Which
awareness.
is awareness, right? The entire 5 elements is made up of what? Where does it come from? Trying to manage the universe according to his needs. He is spending hours and hours and hours
Observing.
trying to see how the whole thing works. This is how he discovers the fact that time and space, which we thought to be absolute, is not really absolute. He didn't have any pre-idea, he didn't have any pre-notion. When he discovered, he himself was highly surprised. Okay? But the same Einstein, in fact I saw there is a play, it's a very nice play, Einstein. You saw? Yeah, it's a nice
Very
play.
good.
He himself was saying that when my wife, or I don't know, somebody was dying, he said, I was so busy with my equations, I didn't even go to see her. So that means he's extremely philosophical, brilliant man, outstanding genius, okay? But what? When it comes to some simple thing like going and seeing your wife when she's dying, even that the person is, and then he regrets, like any other person, okay? What the spiritual aspect means, this Vedanta that you are studying is not for gathering information, as I told you, oh, which my ear comes from where and all. It's not for that. You need to re-understand who you are. You need to re-understand what is the nature of the cause of the universe. You need to re-understand what's your relationship with the cause of the universe. Based on this re-understanding, what? You have to behave differently.
You exercise
You
your free
understand the world differently and you behave differently. This is what makes it spiritual. Because the world, as we see it, there is erroneous perception. The perception is right, the conclusion is erroneous. So the whole teaching is to make you see where you make the mistake and help you what?
Realign your
Exactly. Realign your thinking in keeping with what is. The whole attempt is like that. Because when you start with a basic assumption, which itself is a highly distorted assumption, and you try to solve the problem, there is no solution there. In order to solve the problem, you have to change, you have to realize your error and shift it. Okay? So therefore, as long as you attribute what? The characteristics of the body on awareness, you are making awareness which is free, highly limited.
Would you give us an example of what we do regularly? For example, what are the attributes?
Okay, so
Let's
that
say we have
means
fat.
when you think, okay, now simple thing like I am fat. Okay. Now the whole what? Now I give this whole that I what is the mistake I have made?
That you're thinking
On
I am.
awareness, there is no distance between the awareness and what?
Physical body.
The physical body. The physical body means cells. Okay. Now with this, I live in this world. Okay. I go to a party which is supposed to be what? For my enjoyment. Okay. But while I'm getting ready for the party, I'm constantly what? Oh, I'm looking fat, I'm looking, bad, I'm looking this, I'm looking that. So that means my mind is totally obsessed with this particular thing that now I'm fat. When I go to a party, it is meant for my entertainment. Please understand, I'm not giving it a value, good or bad. I'm not telling you that, oh, when you become spiritual, you stop going to parties. Never. I'll never say things like that. This party is meant for enjoying. Nothing is wrong. Right? What happens? Why something which is meant for your enjoyment becomes a burden? Why? Right? Because now with this notion that I'm fat, you go to a party, when you meet somebody, where is your attention? You're not spending any time with this person, trying to just, exchange or whatever. Your whole attention is what? Who's come?
Who's looking at me?
Who's now, look at that girl, she's so slim. Right?
I'm wearing
Oh,
the
and
same
you
dress
constantly, that slim, beautiful girl constantly reminds you and reinforces what? Your inadequacy. Okay? Then you get jealous. Because then you can't stand when somebody else, and then because when somebody is reminding you of your smallness, then you get jealous. Then what? You have to put the person down. Because when you are small, then what? In order for you to feel better, what do you need to do?
We get
Someone
yourself.
else, yeah.
Put somebody else down.
You go into illusion. or
So
delusion.
you keep on loading. First thing started with simple mistake, which is you take yourself to be attributes of the physical body. Then it doesn't remain a simple mistake. It gets loaded and loaded and loaded, compounded mistakes with which you are totally entangled. There is jealousy which is coming from there. There is feeling of inadequacy which is coming from there. There is a tendency to criticize which comes from there. Then you think that, oh my God, then maybe that I'm getting less attention. All kinds of, oh, my husband is looking at her. All kinds of problems. You load and you load and you load and you load. Then that affects your relationship with your husband. It is like so many repercussions. One simple mistake gets multiplied manifold. Then what are you trying to do? You're trying to control your husband. Then what happens? You don't take care of your own self-image. Because your self-image is confined to what? This physical body. Okay? That means all your other talents, all your other skills, all your other endowments are underutilized because there is one obsession. See the distortions within distortions within distortions. Then the whole world becomes what? Then you need to get drunk because you can't stand all these limitations and all that.
Best to stay with me.
Because it's too much.
I'll stay with you.
You need to forget yourself to enjoy. Because with you and all the complexes that you're carrying within you, there is no freedom. A party is gone. Parties are made for you to enjoy. It becomes source of problem. And that's why people say, oh, I hate going to parties. You hate going to parties because you can't enjoy with the mind that you go. You're not able to enjoy. You load every event, right? Every human being, wherever you are. If you go with your mind, you can what? Make anything miserable. Because you keep on loading further and further and further. This is how we don't know how to, and then we then think that, oh, you know, the world is bad, or poor me. Okay, or all these is just incredible. We are all bunch of complexes, one way or the other. Okay. In order to free oneself, you first have to realize the reality. I'm not giving you positive thinking. I'm making you see what is variable and what is that invariable. See that. That invariable is already free, it's a fact. Once you understand that relationship between you and the body, which is you are already free, does not mean that you will not want to be slimmer. It's okay. But in fact, when you have that freedom, where you are not, your self-image is not, entire self-image is not dependent on the fatness of the body, what will you do? You can help yourself even better. You can take care of your body better because all these complexes which was loading you, but you're freeing yourself from. Then you do what needs to be done. Okay? And at the same time, you recognize that this is not the only aspect of physical body, has so many different aspects. Enjoy them. Use them. Okay? To have a proper relationship with physical body and mind. Physical body and mind is a privilege that is given to you. It becomes what?
Limited when you
It
limit.
becomes a curse because you have a mistake. You have mistake. You make a mistake, and you compound that mistake, and you reinforce that mistake. The life becomes entangled.
That's the first. How is this different from the second mistake? The first mistake is the attributes get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then all
Into
these
I.
complexes, jealousy,
Yeah. No,
and
the
all
second
this.
one is what that you say the awareness is the body. Isn't that the same?
No, it's
Because
limiting
our-
awareness, that you believe awareness is only limited within the body and mind.
Exactly.
So what is that mistake? Then what is the, like how
Second
this one was
mistake.
explained?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you give us
That-
an example?
Yeah, that mistake is something which you need to know about the nature of I. Okay? Nature of I, it is like this, right? This space seems to be confined to the glass. Awareness seems to be, even though it is distinct from body and mind, it seems to be what? Confined to this body and mind. Then what happens is, if I tell you, A, you are limitless, this is typical California self-help. Right? Your sense of I remains in this body, that you are some awareness, right? And that awareness, what? Is totally free and it is limitless. Okay? So that means something which is limited, which is what? Here, you impute on it and the whole universe will work according to your needs. You ask for it and the universe will conspire to give you what you are looking for. Is it true?
That's the alchemist.
It doesn't work like that. So that means what happens is, this is what we call wrong understanding of Vedanta. Because you think that you understand you are independent of the body and mind, and then you think that this awareness is still here. You localize that awareness, and then you start thinking what Vedanta is saying is it's limitless. So you continue the error, right? And then you become more what? Not in touch with reality than before. Because you retain your awareness here. It's like this glass,
You retain the
this space.
limitedness of your.
Exactly. You retain the, you know, if this
Limited
glass starts thinking that this space is limitless.
Oh, I see.
It's not. This glass thinks that this particular space is limitless. Is it?
No.
No.
So the analogy with the second mistake is that you think the
That
awareness
I
is only
continue to keep this awareness within my body and mind and start thinking that this awareness is
limitless in this physical state.
exactly
Limitless or limited?
limitless.
In the limited physical space.
Exactly.
So you try to confine your awareness when actually, because you've localized it. So I think that's what you were saying.
Exactly. So that means you localize something and you continue to localize it, and then what Vedanta says is that this awareness is not something which is particular to you. It is all pervasive. You still continue to localize it and imagine that it is limitless. That is a big mistake.
It's more dangerous.
It's
and
more
irresponsible.
dangerous. And
It's
it
like
is
thinking
more
you're
irresponsible.
Superman.
This is
Right.
why Vedanta, exactly, it is more dangerous than being a normal human being with a normal mistake.
By this we don't see oneness, but if we
Yeah.
remove that, then we start seeing oneness.
What is the connection?
Because we know that it's not localized. So what are the
And that
typical
is the
thinking
big
mistakes
mistake.
coming out of it?
So I think what she's been saying is that when you define yourself at a very base level, right? Just limited to your body and mind. Okay, so I am fat, so my entire self
That was
image
the
is
first
negative.
one.
Right?
The
That's the
second
first.
one.
But the second one is that in your pursuit of awareness, right? If you make the mistake of localizing that awareness within
The
the
body.
limited body and mind, then your pursuit of it is going to be in the wrong direction.
Because
That's
it's not
what I
only.
understood, but I'm not able to translate it in. I'm not able
Thought
to translate.
patterns.
Huh?
Thought patterns. Yeah, thought patterns, exactly. That this awareness is limitless, therefore I can do whatever I want.
So like what
Okay, that's
Mitali said about the
Ah.
sentence from
So
the
that's
Alchemist.
wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
What should it be? This awareness is limited.
No, then you have to understand nature and the laws that govern nature, and then understand that you change your behavior. You can't say that you, in a facetious example, you can't say that I'm limitless and I want to fly, so I will fly. You can't fly. You know, we
You have to understand the
you have to
limitations that
understand that
The limit,
the
as
five
no
elements,
confinement.
how they apply to you, and the fact that you're
So
not
what was
God.
what was that thing?
This
they said?
has no confinement. It's not a real confinement.
Your pursuit
But it
of
still continues to be there. When this class space understands that actually what space is not localized, it is fundamental by
assumption is
Okay,
that
the
it is
as though
limited.
confinement will still
Why-
remain or
why
not?
you- Like this is a limited
Will it remain or
thought.
not?
Yes.
It will
Yeah.
remain, right?
What she's
But the
saying
person is not fooled by the appearance.
Awareness is limitless.
You
so
see what I mean? This is
My
exactly.
mind and body.
The awareness
I
will
can
be
talk for
available to
building
you
and
through
find
this
that
body
my
and
awareness will
mind,
take
but
care.
through this
So
teaching
that is the
you have
erroneous
freed
thought
it
that would
from this
put you,
artificial
you know,
confinement.
in a compromised position
Right?
rather
So you are
than
not that
moving
thinking
towards,
that
because
this is and
she's
then
saying
thinking that it is limited. You see what I mean?
The understanding of
Big
awareness is
danger.
So it's limitless,
freedom or
but
moksha.
limit
Right?
in
the limited.
in the but it has a
Getting
relationship
towards
with everything
that.
else, which
But
is
if
made
you
up of five
limit
elements.
that
Exactly.
Inside
So
of the
it's
limitation
awareness
body.
is something which is in and through everything. Right?
It's limitless but works according to laws.
Exactly.
Inside of the limitations of the laws.
So therefore, this
Yes,
is
it
the
is
next,
a
if we can come to the verses, this is exactly what it says, right? So now, what we have seen is two things, okay? Two things is the whole universe made up of five elements, different permutations and combinations, and second is awareness, which is all pervading, yes? It's okay? Now, who is an individual and what is Ishvara is explained. So let's see that, okay? So, this is 36. I don't know, what is your
11.
Read, then we know.
Okay. It says, Sthula Sharira Abhimani Jiva Namakam Brahma Pratibhimbam Bhavati Sa Eva Jivaha Prakrutya Swasmat Ishwaram Bhinnatvena Janati.
So then end of 11, last
line.
line, first line of 12.
Yeah.
So there is this whole term called Jiva. Jiva is right? What is Jiva? Jiva here he says that it is this awareness, okay, which actually has no boundary, okay, takes oneself to be what? Sthula Sharira Abhiman. Takes oneself to be
The body.
the body, right? And behaves as though
It is
right,
the body.
I'm as good as the body. When nobody makes the statement I'm the body, but people make the statement I'm fat, I'm tall, I'm fair. And people have, did you watch this NDTV? Recently there was this whole program on how Indians are obsessed with fairness. And they took very, did you see that? Oh my God, that was hilarious program. Okay. So therefore, so this means that we are obsessive about it. Okay. So this is what we call Jiva. For Jiva, the I is not, it is not even awareness. What is it? It is as good as the physical body. The attributes of physical body and the attributes of mind are taken to be the nature of mind.
So it's basically saying this is a mistake.
This is us. So this is a Jiva. So that means all of us, until we solve this basic confusion, we are all Jivas. Because we live within that confusion.
So Jiva is that defined as?
What is Jiva?
Stula is written. Stula Sharira Abhiman. Your I sense is in Stula Sharira. Stula Sharira is in the physical body and also in subtle body.
What is this sentence, the English sentence, one who is identified with the gross body called the Jiva is but the reflection of Brahman is.
Yeah. So that means this awareness is nothing but Sat Chit Ananda. Awareness it is available to you. Okay? But this is the mistake that I was telling you. You impute on that awareness what? The characteristics of the physical body. This is what I explained.
No, that I understood, but I don't understand the sentence.
Yeah, so
How is
Brahman means that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Okay? Which is this awareness which is everywhere. But this awareness which is everywhere, in your body it is also there, and you take it to be what? That awareness to be Sthula Sharira. So this is what we call Jiva. Yeah, the terminology is something that you forget. This is what it means.
So the limiting the definition of the self to Jiva is the mistake.
Is a
that you were
mistake.
talking
No, the Jiva is a
Yes,
stage at which you are making a mistake. when you're
Jiva
limiting
is an
yourself to
entity.
be-
Jiva is you and me.
Yeah.
Forget about Jiva is you and me until you come to Vedanta. First of all, please understand, you don't even know I am awareness. You don't
Yeah,
even
you
know. Right? If I ask you who are you, you will describe yourself by what?
my
Physical,
name,
your
my
physical
Your
appearance.
name, your physical characteristic, your characteristic of your mind. This is what all of us are. Okay? So that means my whole identity is
In the body.
as good as what? I don't even know there is awareness, or nobody knows that there is awareness, right? Everybody thinks that awareness which is there, self-evident, it gets what? Totally
Becomes a
loaded
physical act.
with the characteristic of your body and mind. This is how we are all.
So you're saying that Jiva is, as what Agni was saying, that it's a stage of I at which point we're still making this mistake, but in reality Jiva is limitless.
Exactly.
Whoa, say that
But
again.
even when we're convinced by the logic that you give us, until
Yes.
we actually become and behave differently, we're still Jiva.
Yeah, so that means that the knowledge has not really
Transformed
it's
it, yeah.
not totally.
Assimilated.
So that means it
Yeah.
takes time for you to totally assimilate this knowledge and understand accurately what Vedanta is saying without projecting your own meanings, your own distortions, and also then taking care of the behavior part. Which is, until that whole thing happens,
Yeah.
knowledge is not totally clear. You are in the process of knowing.
So then Jiva's existence is a limited physical entity.
For now.
Exactly. Jiva
For-
is
yeah.
an entity, just understand, Jiva is an entity which is where the awareness which is available in your body, which is I, okay, is mistaken for what?
Your body, mind.
Exactly. Simple. Okay. it gets what? I think that awareness, onto that awareness which is available to you as I, you impute the attributes of your physical body. So that means there is ignorance. What is there? There is ignorance about the
So we are
nature
jiva until
of
we
it.
understand and assimilate the knowledge and alter our behavior accordingly.
Exactly. Absolutely. Right? So that means that saha eva jiva prakrutya swasmat ishvaram bhinnatvena janati. So what is the orientation of this individual who takes oneself to be what? One body and one mind. The whole orientation of interaction with the universe is, I am different from you. Okay? You are different from me. The mountain is different from me.
Dualism.
Yeah, this is what we call Dvaita. Okay? The planets are different, the stars are different. Then I also say Ishvara, the cause of the universe. Where is it? Some uncle sitting somewhere to whom I have to just ask for mercy. Okay? That is vision of Jiva. Me, the individual, I am only this much. Everybody else is different from me.
I am
And
separate.
the cause of the universe is also different from me. I am separate. This is what we call that whole thing of isolation. You, the little one, fighting against the universe which is different from you. And constantly trying to manipulate the universe according to your needs.
I have not understood the feeling of oneness.
It's not feeling, it's reality.
That reality I have not grasped at all.
So that is good to see. What is it that you have not grasped?
No, I'm just saying that this concept is still so alien. I mean, I'm understanding what you're saying intellectually, but I can't even begin to feel it.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. It's not a matter of feeling. Okay? Feeling means what? Feeling keeps changing all the time. In one day, how many different feelings you have? Realities don't correspond with your feelings. They've got nothing to do with feelings. You can't say, oh, I understand intellectually that time and space is relative, but I can't feel it. It's not a matter of feeling.
Comprehending, whatever the word is, I'm
So
not
this
getting
is
it. Yeah.
why what you need to do is really look at the realities totally differently. Align your thinking with what is being said. Try to understand. And it takes time. It's not something which just can happen overnight. But see the fact that what Vedanta says is uncontradictable. Okay? When you say, then you have no choice but to align your thinking with what is and not what you think is. There is no choice. We don't have a choice.
So what Nandita just said is that you understand yourself as a jiva, but when you align it with what is real and knowledge and you apply it,
What do you become?
then
Then you become awareness, which is
No,
limitless.
you don't become awareness. You use awareness to move
Become
towards
awareness.
freedom.
Towards
That's all
freedom.
that
There
is.
is, see,
Yeah.
1 minute,
Agreed.
sorry. This space which seems to be confined to this, is it already free or is it not already free?
It is already.
It is already free.
Where
that
appears to be
means-
confined.
Exactly. It appears to be confined, but it is already free.
It will exist with or without the glass.
Sorry?
So it will exist with or without the glass.
Exactly. Even when the glass breaks, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's always there and it's always free. It's never conditioned by the glass. This is the reality of awareness. But what happens is, when I teach you Vedanta, your eye still continues to be somewhere else and you want to manipulate the eye to make it different. Because what Vedanta says and the meanings that are created in your mind, there is no alignment. So that means you continue to impute meanings onto Vedanta which don't exist. So that means you are not understanding it accurately. This is what I said, the problem is exactly. This is, you say, okay, now I have to do really we work really hard to free this space.
It's already free.
It's already free. Okay. Oh, but I have to, this little space has to feel this whole sense of expansion in order to know that it is big. It's not available to you like that. Okay? All your expectations are not in keeping with reality. You're creating your realities. You're constantly projecting onto Vedanta your expectations. As long as that orientation remains, you'll never reality will keep eluding you. It is like saying, the minute I understand that the earth is a globe and not flat, my perception should change. Will your perception change when you understand that this earth is not flat but it is a globe? You will start seeing a curvature? Never. When you understand that the sun does not rise in the eastern sky but is stationary compared to the earth, the minute you understand, you think that the perception of sunrise will go away? No. In that very expectation that when I understand, my perception will change, that itself will keep you from understanding the reality. Because you are imputing certain things which will never happen.
You know, extending the analogy of the space.
Yes, yes.
So my awareness is not different from her awareness. It is just awareness. It is my thoughts and ideas which cause me to believe that my awareness is different from someone else's awareness.
Excellent. Yeah. Exactly. So that means that is a mistake. Absolutely. This awareness, which is confined to your body and seeming to be confined to your body and mind, is because of which you are seeing different conditions of your physical body and different conditions of your mind. Now, the mistake that you are making is that awareness you are taking to be as good as the body and mind. What Vedanta says is that this body and mind is something that you objectify, it's not you. You are that awareness which is free from the conditions of the physical body and mind. That is the first thing Vedanta says. Then it says, secondly, this awareness which you think is confined to the body and mind is actually not localized. It is free. Like here, it is free. It seems to be confined, but it is free. So that means what you say is absolutely right. The bodies are different. Nobody is denying that. Okay? Minds are different. Nobody is denying that. But the awareness, because of which different conditions of body and mind are known, is not confined. It is one whole. That is what Atma is. Satyam Jnana Okay? As long as that awareness seems to be confined, not only confined to the body and mind, but onto that awareness you impute attributes of physical body and mind, you're a jiva. Jiva means you continue with the mistake.
So when you finish, when you understood the mistake, you reach the next stage, you become Atma.
It's not, see now there is, you are Atma. You are awareness.
No, but that's what you are referred to as jiva, and actually
When you remove the ignorance,
then you reach the
totally,
state
not
of
partially. See, it's not reaching a state also,
You
it's
don't
just
become, you just know
removing the ignorance. Seeing clearly what is, without
Knowledge.
adding my own interpretations. Exactly. Because even while you're trying to clear the mistake, you're removing one doubt, but you're creating another picture which doesn't exist.
That's why she gave that analogy of the perception, that you understand that it's not the sun that rises and sets. But that doesn't change. It's a reality, yeah. You will continue to see the sun rising and setting, but you know the truth that it's the earth that's
going around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What Saloni is saying
And
is
then
absolutely
you
right.
understand that this is the law of nature. that it's the earth that's moving.
Like laws
Nandita,
exist,
don't
you
try
just
to
remove
make
your
the
ignorance
term
of it. It's not you
jiva
create them.
Linear, absolutely.
Jivatma, because that won't, that,
You get the
that
realization.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
See, what you think is when you understand, this is a very common problem people have, right? When you understand I'm limitless, then what? You will feel this whole big expansion of awareness. What are you doing? You are making awareness what?
Limited version of your body.
Object in time space, and you're trying to expand it. That is so different from what Vedanta is telling you. You are making awareness into an object, another object,
Which is even worse. You might
which
just
is even
confine
worse.
to your body only.
Exactly. See what I see? That when I give a meaning, people create the meanings which are sometimes appalling. Because this is what, after years and years and years of Vedanta, you can create your own meanings and get totally caught in those meanings and those expectations, which make you further away from reality than what Vedanta is trying to show you. This is why you need an excellent teacher who will detect those mistakes and tell you, hey, this is not what is said. Otherwise, you will be on a trip.
That might help Nandita. Otherwise,
I
it's
can
easy to get wrong.
She's there putting making
If you want
mathematics.
labels, I think what
Right.
might help you is later on they will come to labels. So you do move from the jiva where we are to the jiva mukta.
Jivan Mukta.
Is that's the label that you're looking for. But you don't change you are already what you are.
You are what you
But the
are, it's just a
label will
label.
get
Yeah.
And
what
we are
is it?
constantly, see, this is what you're going on telling us. See, we are constantly trying to understand awareness by confining it.
Exactly.
But that is a mistake that we are
objectifying
making.
it.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that means you remove, okay, now after listening to Vedanta, you've taken away your awareness as attribute of body, but you're giving another
Or confined to the body.
confinement. So you're constantly moving from one picture to the other, from what in your imagination. Mind's imagination to imagine is infinite. Okay? This is why that whole preparation that we are talking about is what? Make a mind which is non-projecting mind. Because a mind which is a projecting mind, which is what a projecting mind, simple thing happens to me and I cannot handle and I'm angry with you. Okay? So that means there is one event which triggers a response in me which is like totally disproportionate to the event. That means a mind is adding meanings which are so much more than what actually the event calls for. With that kind of a mind, if you are listening to Vedanta and awareness, you will impute on awareness all kinds of your own stories which have got nothing to do with what Vedanta is talking about. So therefore, one of the preparation of Tattva Bodha is what? Make a mind which is a non-projecting mind. Is able to see things clearly.
That's
Is
non-coloring.
able to non-color, exactly. Non-coloring mind is the first step to learning Vedanta. Because a coloring mind has a very fertile ground to go wild on one's imagination.
What's it, Vaira?
So Vairagya. Vairagya is non-coloring mind. Non-coloring mind means you don't impute meanings which don't exist. You try to capture the reality as it is. So this person, the one who understands is who removes the ignorance, the veil of ignorance, and sees the reality exactly in keeping with what is.
So can we say when we know the truth about awareness, and then all the emotions of fear and jealousy and all those things slowly dissipate because we don't lay importance to
Okay.
what is more.
Now, what I will say it slightly the other way. What I would say is, until I have taken care of my fears, And until I have taken care of my sadness and anger and all that, which is a distortion, with that kind of a distorted mind, I cannot understand the
You
reality.
have to address it first.
So that means a precondition to knowing this reality is addressing it. This is why in Tattva Bodha, your maturity is the beginning. That is something which is the first step to understanding Vedanta. But what you are saying is absolutely right. What it means is that you need a certain preparation for Vedanta. Vedanta, when it gives you a certain vision, it will help you to deal with your subjectivity. And each will reinforce the other and start a positive
So
kind
this
of a
clears the
virtuous
past,
circle.
clears the ignorance, clears the
Exactly.
misconception.
So that clearing of ignorance is a process. It's a process because you have to prepare yourself not only by listening to Vedanta again and again and try to see what it says, but when you go out there, you also have to take care of what? All your angers, all your jealousies, all your fears, all your sadness, because in those things is distorted thinking. There is a lot of distorted thinking there. So unless you take care of all of that, right, your mind is projecting more to events than what it has. The same mind is used for Vedanta, it will continue to project. And will not not understand accurately what is being said. So that means you do two things. One is listen to Vedanta again and again, and second what? Take care of your personal growth. It is two pursuits at the same time. Self-discovery, which is knowing yourself to be much more than you ever imagined you were. The second is self-growth. Unless self-growth, which is what? Having certain kind of insight into your own psyche, which are your distortions. Undo those distortions. Unless you do that, that self-discovery will not happen.
Undoing the distortions by seeing the reality of the situation, not putting your own
Exactly.
and all the
Seeing reality.
variables that.
Exactly. So distinguishing between what is real and what is it that I'm adding to it, which is my imagination. Because a lot of your suffering in this world is
Your own imagination.
your own
Your
imagination.
own adding.
You're adding. Because any situation, in fact, if you have a proper perspective, you can handle it. Everybody is given the capacity to handle. What becomes overwhelming is you get caught. So therefore, Jiva is who? The one who has mistaken what?
Is awareness, is limitation to the, is physical body and mind to the inside.
Exactly. Now, in the next class, we'll see what is Ishvara then.
But we won't be going into the further awareness from the jiva, like from the body into the general
Yeah, but that
awareness.
already was already we did. I don't know if you all remember it. Atma was what? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. We've already seen that. But when this text is over, when we start another text, the whole thing will be
Will be-
unfolded again.
So I think I missed quite a lot.
Yeah, you missed quite a lot, obviously. Because they've started since I don't know when.
But you can see it as Agni said on
On the
the
video.
You can see it on the videos.
Next week's class I'll be watching.
I will finish the class.
Which website? Not Nima's website.
Yeah, even my website.
This is on your website?
I think it's a
On
live
the earlier
stream.
video.
It's a nice stream and even this is available on my website.
Just be looking at all that.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.